Hello and welcome back to another high altitude investing live stream. Today is the 8th of August and it's going to be a really good live stream today. We have a lot to cover. A lot of coins are starting to take off as planned, as expected. In our last live stream, we were talking about a big move coming for crypto and how people that win in crypto buy the dip. So if you want to be a winner in crypto, it's really good to buy the dip because stuff like this happens, right? Everybody was really, or at least a lot of people would have been afraid last week and the week before. And you can see just how strong the recovery has been on a lot of different coins. So this is why you buy the dip, and especially when people are afraid and fearful, it's very profitable to buy the dip. So just got that shared everywhere, and we'll just start right away on today's live stream and talk about what's coming for crypto, what I see happening, and kind of what's going on. So first of all, you can see Bitcoin is seeing a nice recovery up off of these lows. So it did exactly what we were talking about. We talked a little bit about horizontal support right here and how that would be the area where Bitcoin is going to have the strongest reaction. And that's exactly what happened. It came down to horizontal support, tested it perfectly, and went all the way back up to 117,000 right here. So that's a pretty nice reaction off of this horizontal support level here on Bitcoin. And it's really doing kind of the same thing that it did over here. If you look right here, we have horizontal support right here and an ABC correction, A, B, and C wave down, right? So it did an ABC back onto horizontal support and recovered very nicely. And that's exactly what it did right here too. An ABC correction onto horizontal support, and it's recovering very nicely here. Now, the other thing, the reason I titled this live stream, Here Comes the Crypto Moon, is for a couple reasons. First of all, as all of you guys know, when crypto moons, we always call it, or when crypto goes up, we always call it mooning, right? So if there's an expansion in the market, if the market is growing, we call it a mooning for crypto. Crypto is mooning. And the other reason is because if you don't know about the moon phases, I've talked about this a few times on my live streams, but the full moon is generally bullish and a new moon is generally bearish. Now, it's not 100% of the time, but it is like 90, 95%, somewhere around there, where you do see bullishness happen during a full moon and bearishness happening during a new moon. You can obviously see some exceptions, like right here where we got a full moon and the market only went up a little bit right here and then had a big correction, right? But you see the new moon, we had a big correction right there. So overall, the market does follow this pattern where full moons are generally bullish and new moons are generally bearish, as a rule of thumb, not as 100% perfect indicator, but something to be aware of. And you can see here that we had a full moon happening, which took us all the way up to 123,000. Then our new moon phase started, which took us right back down to support. Well, if you don't know, the next full moon, I believe, is today. No, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow on the 9th is the next full moon. So we're very close to a full moon phase. So that's why I decided to name this live stream Here Comes the Crypto Moon, because first of all, I believe that in the bigger picture, we're getting ready for a huge moon on crypto. But as a general rule of thumb, the full moon is also quite bullish. So we could see a pretty strong bullish reaction here on crypto. Now, mind you, we are at short-term resistance here. So, it could take a second to accumulate here before it pushes through. Or tomorrow we could wake up and we're right up through resistance. But just so you know, we are at short-term resistance here on Bitcoin. But in the bigger picture, I do expect crypto to moon, to go crazy. And in the short term, a full moon is generally bullish as well. So those are some things to be thinking about and some things to be considering in your own analysis of these markets. Matt Osti, what is up, my friend? Surprise live stream. Ethereum at 4K. Time to send Telcoin to an all-time high. Yeah, I think we will get a new all-time high on Telcoin. Operation Shutdown. What is up? Thank you for tuning in. Jfish. Ethereum and Dogecoin. 3 rockets. Light Clothed says, got some new music preparing for earth shaking. It's time we do our collab. Yeah, send me a text with your music. It's always fun to listen to your stuff, and I would love to collaborate with you musically. Michael Freon says, Ethereum $4,000. Yeah, so this is what I mean by buying the dip, right? In my last live stream, I titled it Winners Buy the Dip. And when the market's dipping, it's always really hard to build up the confidence, or it can be really hard to build up the confidence to buy the dip. But this is what happens when you do. It's been a week since my last live stream, I believe, pretty much exactly a week. Chainlink is up 20% in the last 7 days. Matic is even up 22%. Litecoin is up 18%, Stellar's up 18%, Pump.Fun is up 18%. Everything is up since last week. But everybody was afraid to buy last week, right? It was scary times. So that's why buying the dip is so powerful. You have to stop looking at the wrong things and just buy the dip. I mean, look at XRP right now. XRP is killing it. This thing is going nuts right now. It's going to break its old all-time high again soon. If we look at XRP, let's look at it on not Coinbase. Where's Bitstamp? Here we go. If you look at XRP, it broke its old all-time high when it did this move right here. Barely, but it did. It broke above its old all-time high right here at $3.33 and hit like $3.40 right here. So it barely broke its old all-time high. Then it broke above its old all-time high pretty significantly right here when it hit $3.67 right here, right? So it broke above again. And it's starting to take off again here. Look at this. It's starting to take off again. And not only do we have increasing price, but we have volume to match it. So this is about to break above its old all-time high again. Now, you have to understand, when stuff goes into price discovery, that's when things get exciting. What is price discovery? It's pretty self-explanatory. The market is discovering new prices. It's never been worth that much before. It's discovering a new price. And when the market discovers a new price, a lot of times the market can go completely nuts. Now, I'm just using XRP as an example here. I know nobody requested it in the live chat currently, but just as an example of what's coming for crypto. XRP is getting ready for a huge parabolic move. It's headed into price discovery as we speak. Look at this 2-month candlestick right here. That's so bullish. It's going to be crazy. Okay? This whole reaccumulation right here, triangle on the monthly, the 2-month candlesticks, and then a breakout right here for XRP. It's going to be crazy when this thing takes off. So, just as an example for the rest of crypto, I know some of you guys might hate XRP, other people might love it. I don't really care what your feelings are. But the truth of the matter is, this is an example of a coin that's going to take off and go nuts. Alright? And it's not just XRP. I'm just using this as an example. We can pull up Ethereum right now and look at Ethereum. Ethereum's about to break its local high, and it will break its old all-time high soon. I know XRP already broke above its old all-time high. Ethereum is getting ready to. It's getting ready to break above its old all-time high. Its old all-time high is 4,800 per coin. And if you look at Ethereum right now, this thing, something that's really important to understand about support and resistance. As a general rule of thumb, the more times a level is tested, the more likely that level is going to be broken above. So you can see if we take our resistance level right here, and we just place this line right here, look how many times price has come up to this level. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times we've came up to test this resistance level at $4,000 per Ethereum. Now, the more times a level is tested, the more probable it is for that level to be broken through. We've tested this 4 times. It's very probable Ethereum breaks through this level. And if it breaks above 4,000 per coin, what do you think's going to happen when it gets to 4,800? The old all-time high. Yeah, it might pull back a little bit, but it's probably going to break above it. It's probably going to go higher. So even Ethereum, if you look at the chart, this chart is screaming bullishness. It's so ready to blast above its old all-time high, to blast through local resistance, and to go parabolic. It's ridiculous how bullish this chart is. So this is what I'm talking about. Buy the dip, right? And we're still in a dip. If you feel like you missed out, last week I was talking about buying the dip. If you still are thinking, hey, I missed out on that dip, is it too late for me to buy? We're still in a dip. Look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin hasn't even broken through its resistance level that formed before the dip started. We're starting to see the early signs of a bullish reversal here, but we're still in a dip, right? Dogecoin, even if you're talking about the bigger dip that started last year when the market topped out in December and came all the way back down, we are nowhere near our previous old all-time high. So the market is undervalued, whether you're talking about in relation to where we were at last fall, or whether you're talking about in relation to where we were at in the short term right here at 28 cents. We're undervalued in both of those, in relation to both of those points, right? So you can still buy the dip if you feel like you're seeing the market start to take off and you're like, oh no, is it just a dead cat bounce? Is it going to go lower? Should I buy in because this is the reversal? If you're in that spot, which a lot of people get in, where they don't know what to do, you can still buy in before this market turns around. You can still buy in before we break through resistance as a result of this huge double bottom, or break through resistance as a result of us testing resistance 4 times here on Ethereum. You can still buy in. It's not too late to buy in to these markets. In fact, the timing is still really good. Coldfire says, hey, Dallin, loan me 10K so I can get some more Velo. Oh, man. I put my savings into Rapdog because you said so. Nothing is left. Just keep holding on, okay? Look at the chart. You put your savings in? I didn't tell anybody to put their savings in this thing. But it does look really bullish, so don't give up on it. This is a huge rounded bottom. This thing is going to take off, all right? So just hold true to it. I've had instances where you buy a coin, it goes down 90%, it looks like you don't have anything left, and then all of a sudden it breaks above its old all-time high, and then you're up 300% or 400%. That happens all the time in crypto, especially with meme coin markets, because the meme coin market is extremely volatile. It's very, very volatile. So even more so than crypto, and crypto is already crazy volatile. And no, you're not exit liquidity. I'm legitimately, honestly bullish on this coin. And I really do believe in this coin. So, can you look at copper? Yeah, I would love to pull up the copper chart. Do you mean the crypto? Because there is a crypto called copper. So let me know if there is a crypto. Or if you're talking, or let me know if you want me to cover the crypto, or if you're talking about the actual commodity copper, because I'll cover either one. What's your in the meantime, I'll answer Alex's question. What's your thoughts on Onondo Finance? But let me know if you mean the crypto copper or the commodity copper. And we'll pull up Onondo Finance here. So this one kind of pretty much exactly the same as what Dogecoin. In the short term, what Dogecoin looks like. I'm not saying that they look the same in the bigger picture, but in the immediate short term, Dogecoin and Onondo are pretty much a fractal of the same thing. And I know if you're a utility guy and I talk about how a meme coin looks like Dogecoin, you're probably going to be mad. But I'm bullish on Dogecoin, so it's a good thing, I promise, for them to look the same. But if you look at the Dogecoin chart on the right and the Onondo Finance chart over here on the left, you're going to see the same thing, which is basically last fall we had a big bull run, and then the beginning of this year we had an ABC correction. So if we pull up our L8 wave tool, we have wave A, wave B, and wave C, right? An ABC correction down. And if you look at Dogecoin on the right here, the same thing, A, B, and C, right? And now you can see what's happening for both of these coins is bottoming structure. The market's starting to bottom out, starting to see some strength coming back into the market, starting to see some volume and excitement, a little bit a little bit of bullishness coming back in, right? A little bit of strength coming back in. Now, as a result of this ABC correction, what I believe is coming for Onondo Finance is a full recovery back up above our local high right here and all the way up to a new local high. I'd have to look at other charts to see if there's more data. If there isn't more data, that would be a new all-time high, but I haven't looked to see if there's somewhere else that has more data than Coinbase. But for sure, we would at least get to a new local high. Could be a new all-time high. I don't know. There could be a place that has more data than Coinbase does, with a different old all-time high that's even older. But for sure, a break above $2.15 is what I see kind of in the works for this coin for the future in coming months. I don't see if you responded to my question as to whether you want me to cover copper. Oh, just the metal, not the crypto. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, copper, man. When I was a kid, my dad and I, so when we were really, really young, like when I was super, super young, we didn't have like a ton of money. When I got into like my teenage years, my dad was, by that time they had kind of figured out like how to budget. My dad had a better job and, you know, we had more money. So, but when we were really young, we didn't have like a lot of money, right? And one of the little side jobs that my dad would do sometimes was scrap metal copper. So he was, even when he was making a lot of money with his job, he was always looking for little ways to help somebody with something on their property or whatever. And a lot of times people would pay him for it, right? But we scrap metaled a lot of copper together, and I can tell you right now that copper is worth a lot of money. It's amazing. People would give, he would like do some job at some guy's house and they'd give him a bunch of wire or, you know, whatever, right? So we'd get copper from different sources, and copper's pretty, it's actually worth quite a bit of money. And you can see right here, it's worth $4.49. I believe this is per ounce. Let's see, how much is copper worth per ounce? No, that's got to be per pound. Nope. Yeah, that is per ounce. What is it worth per pound? It's probably worth like a couple $100 per pound. The current, $4.37 per pound. Yeah, that was per pound. That makes more sense to me. Yeah. So it's got to be worth like per troy ounce. I believe this is per pound. Anyways, back to the chart. Let's talk about the chart. I'll stop talking about how much it's worth per ounce. If you look at the chart here, this is a lot. So this is wave 1 and wave 2 for a parabolic run. So I'm super bullish on commodities like gold, oil, silver. Pretty much all of the commodities I'm super bullish on, including copper. And if you look at copper here, you can see we have a triangle pattern, right? We broke bullish out of that triangle, and we're really starting a big parabolic run here for copper. And how do I know this? Well, because I've seen a lot of market cycles before, and that really helps you understand the way markets move. If you've studied the cycles, you know the way markets move. And they always have the very first bullish impulse in a new cycle. And if you look at the Dogecoin bull market in 2021, it did the same thing in its own little way. right? Here's a triangle pattern on Dogecoin right here. Here's that first kind of bullish breakout in the market, just like what we saw with copper right here. Copper is starting to kind of pick up right here, just like how Dogecoin started to pick up right here. And then Dogecoin really went parabolic and vertical. So if you study markets, you're going to find the same things happening repeatedly in the market. Doesn't matter what market you're looking at, what cycle you're looking at. Here is, for example, the internet bubble, okay? The internet bubble also had this first sell-off pattern right here. So let's take and we'll remove all the drawing tools. And right here, the internet bubble kind of sold off, right? Before the internet bubble really went into full force. So in that market cycle that we call the internet bubble, there's this thing called the first sell-off, and that thing happens universally in every market cycle that you look at. And it can look a little bit different. There can be subtle differences, but there's pretty much always a first sell-off. And I say pretty much because there's almost always an exception. Especially like you look at some meme coins will just straight moon. There's not even any sell-off. They just get pumped and then they dump. They get pump and dump. You know, just massive pump and dumps. But as a general rule of thumb, almost every market in the world has a first sell-off, right? And that's exactly what happened here with copper. This is the first sell-off on copper. And it's really getting ready to do kind of like what happened to the internet bubble. It's getting ready to go parabolic and vertical. In fact, an even better example, since we're looking at copper here, would be silver. If we pull up the silver chart on the right, not on the left, and we delete our drawing tools and we just kind of stretch out copper right here, and then we come over and we look at silver back in 2008. Silver in 2008 did a first sell-off pattern. So before silver went parabolic in 2011, it did a first sell-off pattern in 2008. And that's really where copper is in its cycle. So if you look right here, after 2008, silver steadily climbed up to its resistance up here. Silver steadily climbed up to resistance and then broke out and went crazy through resistance. But that resistance was the first sell-off. That sell-off that happened was the first sell-off before the parabolic run. There's every market in the world, every market cycle, as a general rule of thumb, always has this. If you look at copper, that's what this triangle pattern was. Now, markets, history, like what Mark Twain said, right? History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. This is a triangle pattern, and this is just a normal ABC correction, so they're not exactly the same. But in terms of where copper is at in its market cycle, this is a first sell-off, and this is a first sell-off right here on silver. Same point in its cycle. And that steady climb up to resistance is exactly what copper's doing right now. So yeah, I do believe copper will go parabolic up for a parabolic run. It could last, who knows how long, 2029? It could be bullish for quite some time here before it goes back down. So thank you for your request, and I am bullish on copper. Pull up the silver chart, largest cup and handle in history. It really is. It's funny that I already have it pulled up, but this is the biggest cup and handle ever. This is crazy what's happening. The only one I mean, this is bigger than the XMR cup and handle, but XMR also has a huge cup and handle. This one just goes all the way back to 1970. So this is the biggest cup and handle ever. This is huge. Imagine what's going to happen when silver breaks above its old all-time high right here, and this cup and handle starts to play out. This thing can go crazy. It's worth $38 an ounce right now. Imagine $200 per ounce, or $180 per ounce. That's like a reality that could really happen in like a pretty relatively short amount of time. We're talking about silver here, so silver takes way longer than crypto does in terms of how long the market cycle is. But still, in a relatively short period of time, I could easily see a $200 per ounce silver as a result of this cup and handle, which is like almost 10 times your money. And in the world of commodities, that is insane gains. I know in crypto, 10 times sounds really small, but in the world of commodities like silver or gold, 10 times your money is insane, especially considering how fast it could happen. So silver is ready for some big things, and I'm very excited about silver. Per pound. Yeah, I thought I was wondering if that was per pound. It doesn't make sense it would be worth that much per ounce. I mean, copper isn't that valuable in comparison to like gold or silver. Now, is copper useful? Will copper take off? Will copper go parabolic? Yes, I'm just saying per ounce it's not as valuable, because obviously it's not like a precious metal, it's just a metal. I guess it might still be in the category of precious metals. I don't think it is, though. Chris says, what is your most bullish price target for Litecoin? Let's check it out. Let's look at the old Litecoin chart. The most bullish target for Litecoin? I'll just be honest with you. The most bullish price target for Litecoin is, I have no idea how high this thing is going to go. I'll give you some ideas of where it could go, but it could blow me away. This could go way higher than what I expect it to. Here's a couple ways to look, though, at the Litecoin chart to get an idea of how high it could go. So first fractal to kind of look at, we have Litecoin over here on the left, and let's pull up Bitcoin over here on the right, okay? Pull up Bitcoin over here on the right and Litecoin over here on the left, right? And let's go 3-day. So first thing that you can see here is that Litecoin is essentially doing what Bitcoin did way back in the day. So this is when I first got into Bitcoin back in 2015. This is like right here when I first bought my first Bitcoin, right here. So I know this chart like it's the back of my hand. And that market cycle on Bitcoin, we were just learning about first sell-offs, right? This was our first sell-off pattern. This is where copper is at right now. Copper is like right here in terms of its cycle. But this market cycle right here on Bitcoin, this full market cycle with the first sell-off pattern, parabolic run, ABC correction, is what Litecoin is doing right now. It's the same thing. So what you can do is you can take the Fibonacci, trend-based Fibonacci extension tool, trend-based Fib extension. You can go from the bottom to the top and then back down again. So we're measuring from the very bottom of the cycle to the top of the cycle and back down, not to where we started, but to the local bottom of our new local bottom of the cycle. And we can do the same thing for Litecoin. So from the bottom to the top and then to our new local bottom, right? Now, if you look at Bitcoin, when Bitcoin broke out, oops, there we go. When Bitcoin broke out to a new all-time high, Bitcoin went all the way to the 16618 Fibonacci extension. In fact, it hit the 17618 on some exchanges. It went all the way, like on BitMEX, it hit like $21,000. So on some exchanges, it even hit the 17618 Fibonacci extension, measuring from the bottom of the cycle to the top of the cycle and then back down again. The next cycle topped out at the 16618 Fibonacci extension before having an 80% correction and a bear market. So that's how high Bitcoin went after Bitcoin did the same exact pattern that Litecoin is doing right now. Now, if Litecoin does the same thing, just to give you an idea of how high the target could be, and by the way, thank you for the donation too. I really appreciate it when people donate in these live streams. And you guys have been doing that a lot lately, so thank you so much for doing that. You can see Litecoin right here. If it does the same thing Bitcoin did, it could hit $6,000, $7,000 per coin pretty easily. Okay. So if it follows the same pattern Bitcoin did, which I think it's going to do something very similar to Bitcoin in 2017, right here. So buying Litecoin right now is kind of like buying Bitcoin in 2016 before 2017 happened and Bitcoin went parabolic all the way to a new all-time high before it finally had a bear market again. If Litecoin does the same thing, it could easily hit $6,000 per coin, even $7,000. You know, this is the thing with these extensions is they give you a general idea. This is why the best strategy is to scale out, because nobody knows where it's going to top out. That's just the truth. Nobody knows what price the market's going to top out at. But the cool thing about these extensions is it gives you an area where you know the market is starting to get a little bit overextended. And you can scale out. You can even use, if you wanted to, you could use like 15 different sell orders and scale out along those extensions. That's if it follows Bitcoin. Now, if for some reason crypto goes into the biggest bull market ever and goes way parabolic and is mass adopted by the public and goes nuts, okay, bigger than even what I'm talking about in the Bitcoin comparison, it could go higher. Okay, I'm not here to limit the possibilities of crypto. It could go higher than that. Would I bet my house on it? Would I mortgage my home on it going higher than 6,000 per ounce or coin? Probably not. No, I wouldn't do anything stupid. But it could go higher. Okay? So now let's do a comparison here. Here's NVIDIA on the right, and here's Litecoin on the left. So now we're going to measure from the bottom of this cycle to the top of this accumulation cycle and back down to the bottom again. Now let's pretend for a moment that Litecoin does even bigger than Bitcoin did in 2017, which is possible. If crypto goes into mass adoption, crypto could see something more like what happened to computers after the first internet bubble, which was mass adoption. And that's why Apple became the biggest company in the entire world, and NVIDIA went crazy, and Microsoft went vertical, and they're still growing, and they're worth billions and billions of dollars today because they were mass adopted by the public. So let's pretend, just for the heck of it, that Litecoin goes into a mass adoption phase and follows NVIDIA in terms of growth. NVIDIA, if you look at the growth here for NVIDIA, here's the 17,618. So that's where Bitcoin topped out. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA doesn't even care about Fibonacci extensions because it went into mass adoption. And the demand didn't stop growing. Because there's a point when the public starts adopting something and the demand grows so much that there's such a high demand for something that to stop it from going up is really hard. And this is, look at how high it went. We have to add Fibonacci extensions that don't even exist to try to figure out where this thing went. Look, here's the 10618. It went up. Do you realize that means it's over 100 times extended above the bottom of that accumulation cycle to the top of that accumulation cycle? It's over 100 times extended above that. That's how much growth this thing has seen because of mass adoption. So in all reality, nobody knows the top of the market, where crypto is going to top. A lot of people have very strong opinions. Some people believe that they know where the top is going to be. But if mass adoption was to happen, only God knows how high it could go. And I'm not saying that with disrespect. I'm saying that with the most utmost respect. Like, literally nobody knows how high it could go, the market, at that point. Just so you guys know, that's the honest truth. Nobody knows for sure. But I am leaning towards a very big bull market. How big it is, who knows? I'm personally leaning towards mass adoption. How big that mass adoption is, nobody knows. I don't think it'll be quite on the level of computers and the internet. Why? Because crypto is kind of inside of that. So it's kind of like an underlying industry inside of the world of computers. And NVIDIA can't go up forever. Apple can't go up forever. Microsoft can't go up forever. All of these companies that are associated with the internet and with computing, crypto is kind of like a little mini technology inside of a bigger technology. And that bigger technology is computers and the internet, right? So I don't think that we're going to see like 30 years of bull market for crypto or whatever. Anything ridiculous like that. But in relation to NVIDIA, NVIDIA could go up. NVIDIA could still see another 2-3 times its value. Right? During this period where computing and the internet continues to grow, I believe crypto will continue to grow. Apple could still double again in value. It's worth $222 per share right now. This thing could still go to $440 before it tops out. Microsoft could still go higher. Right? So crypto is kind of a bubble inside of a bigger bubble. And that bigger bubble is what happened to the internet and computing as a technology after the internet bubble popped. So here's the internet bubble, right? Here's the internet bubble popping. But look what happened after. That's when it really got mass adopted by the public. Microsoft could still go up to $1,000 per share before it tops out, right? So crypto could increase in value over the next 3 years before it tops out. 4 years that could go up. Following Apple, following Microsoft, following NVIDIA. Which would be like mass adoption for crypto, but it wouldn't be like a 10-year bull market like we saw with Microsoft and Apple. But it would still be a lot bigger than anything we've ever seen for crypto. So for me personally, I'm kind of there in the middle. I'm super uber bullish on crypto, but I don't think it's going to be like 10 years and something ridiculous. I'm right in the middle. I believe it's going to be bigger than most people think, but it's not going to be as big as some people think, if you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely Litecoin looks really good. I'm a huge bull on Litecoin, so thank you for the request, Chris. Now let's pull up Bell's coin, because thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Let's pull up Bell's coin and do a little analysis on Bell's for you. So okay, we've done analysis on this coin a few different times. To be honest with you, nothing has really changed that much since our last analysis. There's not a lot, there's nothing new to cover, but I'll kind of cover some of the same things again for you. Essentially, we have a big double bottom forming here. Here's our first low, here's our second low. We're starting to come up a little bit off of this double bottom. You can see it pulled back down to support, along with the entirety of the rest of crypto, pulled back a little bit right here. And really what you'll be watching for here with Bell's coin is a break above this resistance at 25 cents. And do I believe that's going to happen? 100%. I believe we will double bottom here up through 25 cents. And then once we get above 38 cents, then we confirmed this whole bigger double bottom right here. So there's a little double bottom right here that we're going to confirm when we break above 25 cents. And there's a massive double bottom that we're going to confirm when we break above 39 cents, right? So a way bigger double bottom. And once we break above 35 cents, that's green light go for Bell's coin to really take off here, for it to start a nice bull market. And there's a few things that I really like about this coin. First of all, I love the double bottom structure that we're starting to see. Second of all, I really, really like the expanded flat correction. So we have an expanded flat. This is wave A, wave B, and wave C. If you don't know about the expanded flat, just Google expanded flat correction, and you'll get a lot of really good examples of what an expanded flat looks like. If you don't know anything about Elliott wave theory or Elliott wave principle, do some research, learn about it. You know, if you really want to learn, apply for my one-on-one coaching in the description box, and I'll coach you personally on how to trade and invest, including Elliott waves. So you can see here, this is an expanded flat correction. Over here on the right, we have an expanded flat. And very, 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 very simple. The B wave goes up above the top of wave 0. So if I click on this, you can see wave 0. Wave B goes up above the top of wave 0. Then wave C is this huge crash that shakes everybody out of the market, and it's a really good time to buy. This is something that happens all over the world. This is not a crypto thing only. One of my favorite examples of an expanded flat is Bitcoin over here in 2022. But another really good example is the stock market in 2008. So here's Bitcoin in 2022. Here's an expanded flat correction. Wave 0, wave A, wave B goes above wave 0, and wave C is this huge crash that shakes everybody out of the market. That's the same thing that Bell's coin did right here. Expanded flat correction. That's a really good buying opportunity. You can see how similar those two charts are, right? And understanding that expanded flat correction makes it so much simpler, because it's so easy to get stuck in the expanded flat and not buy it because wave C is so bearish looking that it's easy to lose hope. But even 2008, here's the S&P 500, here's the internet bubble pop right here, crash, and then here's 2008 housing market crash. Oops, I keep hitting that button. I think if I press F12, my browser opens up the background programming stuff. But yeah, so here's an expanded flat correction, right? A, B, and C. That's just actually the same thing that Bell's coin did. It's just crypto, so it's a little more volatile. It's also an altcoin, so a lot of times altcoins will do these really kind of secret accumulations where they look kind of dead or they're really low volatility and then they'll take off. Whereas like something like the S&P 500 has such a big amount of trading volume behind it. You can see it rebounded really quickly here, right? Whereas a lot of altcoins will they'll ghost mode where it looks like they're going sideways for a really long time like this and then take off. But it's the same thing. That's an expanded flat correction. And even Ethereum is a good example of what I was talking about with low volatility. So here's Ethereum. This isn't an expanded flat. This is a normal ABC correction here. But because it's an altcoin, look how incognito this was for a long time, right? This was low key, low volatility. Nobody thought it was going to break out. Everybody had given up on it. And then look what happened to Ethereum. So when you see that really low volatility on an altcoin, it can actually be, especially after a big correction, can actually be a really good sign that you're going to see a lot more upside coming. And that's what we see with Bell's coin. We see that low volatility squeeze after a big correction. It looks good to me. I believe we will see a lot of upside for Bell's coin. 401k retirement plans are good to go and start investing on cryptos. Yeah, that's smart to have cryptos like kind of like another 401k. That's really smart because the thing with crypto is you can put $5,000 in and you can end up with $1 million. You can end up with 500k. Let's go on the shorter end, okay? Let's just say you put 5k in and you make 500k. All right? You realize how hard that is to do in the stock market and how easy that is to do in crypto? It's so easy to do that with crypto. Do you realize how hard it is to do that with a 401k and how easy it is to do that with crypto? So that's why it's so smart. Like if you guys are older, and a lot of my audience are older. A lot of people that watch my videos are between like 35 and 50 years old. Most people that watch my videos and my live streams. You guys, 401ks are smart. I'm not telling you not to have a retirement plan. But crypto is like the best retirement plan you could ever have. You don't have to put that much in. I would lean more towards putting as much as you possibly can in, but that's just me. But the profit that you can make on crypto is astronomical. And it's so easy. You just have to buy the dip and hold on through the bull market. It's that simple. And scale out when people get excited and the price is going vertical. It's seriously that simple. All right, okay, stop making the elite richer. You know, that's really hard to do. Because they're really smart. There's a reason they're in the top 1%. It's because they read more than you do. They probably exercise. A lot of them meditate. A lot of them do different things to keep themselves knowledgeable and temperate. There's a reason that the top 1% are in the top 1%, and it's usually not some big conspiracy, although that does happen sometimes. But most of the richest people in the world are rich because they're honest and because they're self-disciplined, and that's why they're rich. But there is the select few that's not the case, right? Let's pull up LTCN. Grayscale Litecoin Trust. This is something that you had me cover in my last live stream, I believe. And I do like the Grayscale Litecoin Trust. Even if you're not investing in this, it's super important to understand what the Grayscale Litecoin Trust is. Because Grayscale, BlackRock, all of these companies, they're putting billions of dollars into crypto. And that ought to tell you at least a little idea of what's coming for crypto. What's going to happen in this market. It's going to be crazy. And really for this stock, which is Grayscale Litecoin Trust, it's kind of like buying Litecoin on high leverage. Kind of almost does a more parabolic run and a bigger correction. It's almost like leverage trading Litecoin in a way to have this stock. Only you can't get liquidated. You could just lose more money because it crashes harder. But yeah, this is an ABC correction and it's ready for wave 3. So this is going to see a strong recovery. I firmly believe we will see a very strong recovery here on LTCN. And we will break above this local resistance here and start to break out for wave 3. So this being wave 1 and wave 2. And that's the ABC correction, the subwaves for wave 2. And we're getting ready for a 3 wave on this stock. Looks really good. Don't buy XRP and Bitcoin, all that boomer. I mean, hey, I think people should buy XRP and Bitcoin, but yeah, I'll do some analysis on SPX 6900 for you because I'm also a big meme coin person myself. And this is one of my favorite meme coins. It's just so cool. Where are we going to get the most data? Dex Screener. Let's go to Dex Screener where we're always going to get the most data on meme coins. SPX 69,000. And I know you're kind of being a troll in here right now, but I'm going to answer you seriously. And to answer you seriously, yes, I do believe buying XRP is a smart move. Buying Bitcoin is a smart move. Bitcoin, XRP are established. Okay? Now, what should do I tell people not to buy SPX 6900? Heck no. I tell people to buy this thing. I actually have been telling people in my VIP area, I'll just fully disclose this right now, to buy this coin. Alright? This coin is going to go nuts. This is going to go so parabolic, it's going to be ridiculous. And yes, in terms of percentage gain, for all of the utility people out there, you're probably going to hate me, but SPX 6900 is probably going to give you a bigger percentage gain than some of your utility coins. Not all of them. You might have some of them outperform this coin, but this coin is going to give you a massive percentage gain. And the volume is high, which is really good. We have a lot of volume here on this coin. It's got a huge community. It's on Binance. It's on all the major exchanges. This is like, in terms of meme coins, this is like one of those coins that you can buy and you're guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed, to make a bunch of money on this coin with very little effort. And it's going to follow all of your favorite utility coins. It's going to follow Bitcoin. It's going to follow XRP. It's going to follow the rest of the market up. The difference being is your percentage gain is going to be bigger. Now your risk is also higher When the market tops out, if you didn't take profit, SPX 6900 is going to crash harder than Bitcoin will. Bitcoin will crash, XRP will crash. When this market is done going up, everything will crash, but the meme coins are going to crash the hardest. It's just the truth. They're going to be the coins that drop down 99%. And I know the meme coiners don't want to hear that, so I'm making everybody mad today. I'm making the utility coin investors mad because I'm telling you to buy meme coins that are going to go up more percentage than your utility coins, even though I'm still telling you guys buying utility coins is smart. It's smart to have XRP. It's smart to have Bitcoin. It's smart to have Ethereum. But it's also smart to have a little bit of these meme coins because they're going to give you a bigger percentage gain. But I'm also making the meme coin people mad because I'm telling them the truth, which is the fact of the matter is most meme coins, there might be a couple exceptions, most meme coins are going to drop 99%. When the bull market for the utility coins is over, and nobody knows when that's going to be. It could be 2029. It could be in the next 2 years. It could be in the next 4 years. Nobody knows exactly when, but when the bull market for utility coins is over, meme coins are going to crash harder than anything else. So that's just the truth. I know it's probably makes everybody mad. I'm certainly not making friends right now, but that's the truth. And I am super bullish on SPX 6900. This thing is going to go parabolic and vertical. I know I probably shouldn't tell everybody this in a free live stream, but this is something I have posted in my VIP area as a VIP signal. And every once in a while I'll drop a VIP signal to the public. Just because. And this is one of them. So, and the last time I did that was Frog, FWOG. I posted a VIP signal for Frog, FWOG, down here, okay? Right here. I posted a VIP signal for Frog right here in this triangle. This coin went on to just go straight vertical after that. If we look at the price action, this went all the way up to, it went like 20,000% after that VIP signal down there. Like 20,000, well, let's see here. Let me measure exactly so I don't get too crazy here. Let's see what this was. 7,000%, okay? 70 times your money from where I posted the VIP signal on this coin. All right? That's how parabolic a meme coin can go. But look what happened after. After the utility coins stopped going up and everything started crashing at the beginning of the year, look what happened to this coin. It went down 96%. So this is the truth of trading meme coins. It's like buying your favorite utility coin because everything in crypto follows everything else. The difference is if you don't take profits, you're going to be down 96%. If you do take profits and you make 70 times your money in the same amount of time where your favorite utility coin only went up 300%. Like XRP only did like 3x right here. This coin, FWOG, did 70 times. So there's way more risk, but if you're smart about it, there's way more profit too in the meme coin markets. And everything in crypto follows each other. So I'm no troll, I'm just opinionated. Well, it's good to have strong views sometimes if they're accurate. It's not good to have strong views if they're not accurate though. Robert Richards says I wasn't disagreeing with you. Oh, I guess you guys are talking back and forth between each other. Yeah, I think Robert Richards was saying ETF is a manipulation tool, so he's telling you that the rich are getting richer because of ETFs being a manipulation tool. Mira Jen, what is up? Thank you for tuning in from Canada. It's always good to see you tuning in. Crystal C says, as for crashing XRP and XLM, may not crash this time after they are fully adopted for ISO 2000 or 20022 messaging system. NVIDIA went up and stayed up. I believe that the same will be for XRP and XLM. I agree with you 100%. I believe that crypto, this bull market, is going to be more sustained and more bullish than anything we've ever seen before. Ever. If this is a mass adoption phase and the charts look like it is, it's going to be more sustained and more bullish than 2017 or 2021. And the growth will continue. So, but nothing is going to go up forever. You know, at some point there has to be a bear market. But it's going to be bigger than what most people expect, and most people will take their profits way too soon because of 2021 and 2017. It's going to be way more sustained. If the market does what I think it's going to do, it's going to be way more sustained than 2017 or 2021 ever was. Continuous growth. You know what's really cool to look at? So we've been comparing the internet bubble and computing to crypto, like Apple to crypto and Microsoft to crypto and all of these different coins and stocks together, right? But what's really cool to do is you can pull up Amazon right here, and you can pull up Ethereum over here on the left. And something I like to do is if you take Amazon over here on the right and you turn it onto the logarithmic scale, and then you take Ethereum over here on the left and you turn Ethereum onto the logarithmic scale, and let's just kind of look here at these two, at the prices of both of these. So this coin over here on the left being Ethereum, and this stock over here on the right being Amazon.com. Now on the logarithmic scale, you get a lot better idea of what mass adoption looked like. So here is the internet bubble. Very vertical, very parabolic. Here's when the internet bubble popped on Amazon. Very big crash. People got really scared. But then look what happened after. Steady, consistent, sustained growth as Amazon was mass adopted. We'll call it mass adoption even though it's a website. It was still mass adopted, right? People use Amazon.com in a big way today. Now, as the technology of the internet got mass adopted and Amazon.com being one of the biggest websites that people commonly use, we had a sustained growth that lasted for a really long time and will probably continue for longer. It could still go up higher from here. It's worth $222 per share right now. This could easily double in value still. It can easily go higher. The trend is your friend. And if you look at Ethereum over here, here's the crypto bubble. Very vertical, very parabolic. Here's the crypto bubble pop. Very sharp decline. But look what could happen now with crypto. It's really set up. It's in the same point right here as what Amazon was doing, like right here. It's really set up. Crypto is really set up for more of a sustained type of growth, or at least this could happen, and I'm leaning towards this happening for crypto. A more sustained type of growth. And no, I don't think it's going to go to $310,000 per Ethereum. But it could go a lot higher than 10,000. It's worth 3 right now. It could go a lot higher than 10. It can easily hit 20,000 per Ethereum. It could go to 50,000. Realistically, if it's more of a sustained, longer type of growth, instead of just going parabolic and then going into a bear market, if it goes parabolic, but it's more of a sustained type of growth, then yeah, it could hit 50,000 as long as it doesn't get there overnight. It could hit those price levels. It could hit 20,000, it could hit 50,000 in more of a sustained kind of growth where it's not happening overnight. See, because when it happens overnight, this is what happens. You get a huge correction because it's not sustainable. But when it's more drawn out, the percentage gain is the same. It just takes longer for it to get there. And that's really what I see as a potential for crypto, is more of a sustained bull market. How high Ethereum is going to go again, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Anybody that tells you they know what price Ethereum is going to top out at in the next bull market, they might have a kind of good idea if they're using like Fibonacci extension. They might have a pretty good idea of where it could top out, but nobody knows where it's going to top out. That's just the truth. But I can tell you that the charts look like it's going to be bigger than anything we've ever seen, but it's not going to be as fast as anything we've ever seen. It's going to be more sustained, more realistic, more of a sustainable growth. Let's see here. Beast Seller. So Lucifer is requesting that we do Beast Seller. I have no idea what this is. Beast Seller on Uniswap. Let's go. I guess let's go to Dex Screener. You are one hooligan, aren't you? Your name is Lucifer. You donate me $6.66, and you want me to cover Beast Seller. You are a hooligan. I'm just gonna say it right now. You're a hooligan. And I'm not being mean, I'm just calling you a hooligan. So, Beast versus Ethereum looks really good. Actually, I don't think I've ever done analysis on this coin before, but this looks really good. We have an ABC correction down here. Wave A, Wave B, and Wave C. A full recovery on this coin, and we're starting to take off. So I think this thing is going to go parabolic here, especially with the rest of the market starting to take off. That's really good to see the rest of the market having strength because, again, crypto follows itself. So if Bitcoin is going down, if the utility markets are going down, you know, like Solana is going down, then a lot of times the meme coins go down. Not every time. There's usually at least one that's pumping. But they do have a tendency to follow each other. So with strength coming back into the rest of crypto, I think this coin, I see this coin going a lot higher. I believe we will see more parabolic movement in this coin. Let's talk about targets, potential targets, because nobody knows. It's just the truth. This is why you have to scale out, because nobody knows where something is going to top out. You can get an estimation, you can get an area that has a high probability of it being overvalued, but nobody knows exactly what price anything is going to top out at. And so you can get estimations that are highly accurate too. I've called the top on markets before. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just telling you nobody knows for sure, because that's the truth. But I could see this thing hitting the 8618 Fibonacci pretty easily, which is 13 cents, about 10x from here. As it goes parabolic, it could easily hit the 8618. 10 times your money from here. Not without corrections along the way up, but I could easily see that. The volume is coming in too. It's good to see volume increasing with price as we're starting to go parabolic here. And these, when markets start to go parabolic, they'll go a lot higher than what most people expect. When people get excited, people get emotional. And when people get emotional, markets go crazy. So for this coin, I do see the potential for a pretty strong parabolic run. Matt Ferree is the creator of Pepe and all of those. Well, that's actually really cool to know that. And yes, Pepe, very, very bullish. I called Pepe really early on. If you go look at my videos, I have a video called Top 3 Meme Coins in 2024 or something like that. And not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I did call Pepe down here at the very bottom of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So we have an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder here, head right here, and a right shoulder here, and I called Pepe right here in that video for top meme coins for 2024. And it was definitely a top meme coin in 2024. It did like 22x from there, 2200% from that price point because of the inverse head and shoulders. So Pepe, very, very good buy. Even still a good buy, but it's cool to know this coin was created by the same creator. Jody Millis says, can you play Here Comes the Moon? Yes, I can. And we're an hour and 16 minutes in, so I better not do any more requests on coins. Let's play some guitar and call it a day. Even though I might lose, I don't know exactly how the advertising works. You guys donated a bunch of money to me today. And I'm pretty sure I'll lose half of that because I'm playing Here Comes the... YouTube thinks I play Here Comes the Sun every time because it sounds so similar, right? To Here Comes the Moon. So I have to give, I'm pretty sure I'll have to give half my ad revenue to YouTube, but who cares? I don't care. Whatever. It's just money. Okay, here we go. This was the other reason that I named this live stream Here Comes the Crypto Moon. It's because I actually 100% planned on playing this song because I see a lot of bullishness coming, so. Here comes the moon, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the moon, and I say, it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold crypto winter. Little darling, it feels like years since a bull market was here. Here comes the moon, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the moon, and I say, it's alright. Little darling, the gains are returning to our portfolios. Little darling, it seems like years since I made 100x. Here comes the moon. Here comes the moon, and I say, it's alright. Moon, 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 here it comes. Moon, moon. Little darling, I feel that sentiment is slowly shifting. Little darling, it seems like years since alt season was here. Here comes the moon, do-do-do-do. Here comes the moon, and I say, it's alright. Here comes the crypto moon, you guys. It's coming. And it's going to be fun. We're going to make a lot of profit, have a lot of good times, especially watching our coins do 30x, 40x, 100x. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about the crypto moon that's coming. And it's going to be big too. It's going to be huge. We just got started. We're really going to blow people away. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're an hour and 21 minutes in. I'm going to call it a day so I can go mushroom foraging. It is officially mushroom season here in Utah. And I forage for king boletes and chanterelles and all different kinds of mushrooms. So I'm going to go mushroom foraging. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos and live streams. And as always, stay profitable out there.